Teddy and Apple and Bootsy are here to help me give a few random ideas to you, just pointing out some things that we have done around our home to make it a little bit more dog friendly. So let me just show them to you in no particular order. Are you ready to help? Are you ready to help? Good boy. One thing I learned years ago is that, especially when you have more than one dog, but even with just one dog, if you have to rely on going to that door every single time to let the dog out when it needs to go out and let him back in when he needs to come back in, you can get mighty tired. So we installed many years ago a doggy door. Hidden behind my television, where it doesn't become an eyesore, is our doggy door. This one is a double flap. There's a plastic flap here, and then there's another one on the other side of the wall. And it's not very hard to train the dogs to go in and out through the two. Can you see me? It's not all that hard to train the dogs to go in and out through both flaps. That does give you a little bit of protection against cold weather. You get a little bit of leakage of air, but nothing really significant. Of course, we don't want our dogs going out unless we are here in the living area to supervise, make sure they are okay, and make sure they're not disturbing the neighbors or doing anything bad to the yard. So there's a plastic slide that goes in there, prevents anyone from going in or out, especially out, when we are not available to supervise them. One question people ask a lot is, if you leave there she goes. If you leave the doggy door open at night when the dogs are in bed, is it safe, or do you have to worry about other animals coming in that way? I can tell you we've had the doggy door for probably about 40 years, and never ever have we had anything but one of our dogs go in or out of the door. As the dogs are playing with their toys there, just want to point out, we have a couple of these air purifiers. It's a very good thing for your own comfort and health. It helps to get rid of the pet dander and hair and anything else that might be flying around that would cause you any difficulties. I've mentioned many times in the past that dogs like crates. Of course, we like to have crates that can be locked so that when we are unable to supervise the dogs, or if we're out for a few minutes, we can keep them safely in their crates. We also feed them in their crates so they don't try to steal each other's food. Hello, Teddy, you are a good boy. But I like to leave the doors open. So we have two of these furniture type crates, which serve very nicely as end tables. And they are also crates for the dogs. You can push the door in that way so that it doesn't even intrude, and leaving it open all day, dogs can go in and out whenever they feel like it. Or you can leave the door open like this if that makes you feel better. Either way, our dogs go in there to take a little nap all the time. I also keep a few crates open in a little corner area there where they can go in and out as they please. They like those, and I think they feel very safe there. But we have them in this little corner, which is behind our sofa, so when you're in the living area, you don't really see them, but the dogs know where they are. My wife and I are retired, so this is where we spend all of our time. We have our living area here, we have our kitchen right there. It's all one big room, basically. And so this is the area where we have our dogs permitted to be as long as we're around to supervise them. Moving from this living area through the kitchen, there are a few things that we have to be wary about. One is way over here. I have this entrance to my dark, scary basement. Well, I don't want the dogs going down into the basement, but they do know that that's where I store the dog food, and some of the older ones have found a way to push that sliding door open. So I've taken preventative measures. A very simple solution is this little hook and eye that I put the hook on the door, I put the eye on the molding there, and I seal that, and it doesn't open. Now, I'm sure one day one of the dogs is going to be clever enough to go like that and then push it open. But in the meantime, this does very nicely to keep them out of danger in the basement. Moving through the kitchen, and instead of turning right to go into the living area, if I turned left, there's a doorway here, and that leads into the rest of the house. There's a living room, our master bedroom, and there is also a staircase to go upstairs. Well, we don't really trust our dogs to have free run of the house most of the time, although once they're past, say, 2.5 years old, I think they're old enough to be trusted. But if you get a little guy, like our little teddy boy here, I know he's not staying with us forever. He's going to be only with us for a few more weeks probably until the breeder finds a home for him permanently. But with our dogs, we use this little device here. It's called a scat mat. It goes down on the floor and it's barely noticeable. It operates on a 9-volt battery, and it gives just a little static electricity zap. Very uncomfortable, but not anything that's harmful. And we train the dogs. There's a whole training process that we go through to respect that mat, and believe me, they don't like it. So all of our dogs know that they don't go past this doorway when the mat is down. And by the way, if you do get a scat mat, make sure you don't walk around the house barefoot unless you want to experience that little zap by yourself. In any case, Teddy, of course, doesn't know about the scat mat because he has not been trained. And you see he walks right over it without any problem at all because it's turned off. My dogs don't need it to be turned on. They already know they don't like it. So for Teddy, what we do, excuse me, Ted. For Teddy, what we do is we keep a gate like this handy. And this goes right across, and that will confine him to this area. And I would do the same for any younger dog that's being trained. Before we get them trained on the scat mat, this keeps them where they belong. One last thought about the scat mat. If I wanted to allow the dogs free rein on the bottom floor, but I did not want them going upstairs where I can't even see what the heck they're doing, I just have to move that scat mat from where it is to the foot of the stairs, and they don't go upstairs. Moving through our living room into the bedroom, you'll notice, and Teddy found it, there is a crate in here. It's a large crate, so we can allow a couple of dogs to sleep in there together. Our dogs generally sleep in crates for their own safety and for our comfort, so that we don't have to worry about what they're doing. And they can still alert us because we're in the same room if they do need to go out for any particular reason. But I know a lot of people like to have a canine foot warmer in bed with them. So we actually allow one of our dogs, one of the older ones, and that would be Boo right now, to sleep in bed with us. Boo is a little too old to jump up on the mattress all on her own. So we have this stool. At night we put the stool at the foot of the bed. And she is very adept at jumping onto the stool, which is lower than the mattress, and then over the footrail onto the bed, and she can join us. And she can get on and off as she pleases during the night. For even older dogs who aren't able to jump up on a stool like this, we don't really use it right now, but we've used it in the past. We have steps that are made specifically for dogs, and it's like 3 steps that go from the floor up a little, up a little. It folds up so you can stash it under the bed during the day, but it allows a dog of pretty much any age to be able to join you in bed, on a sofa, or any place you like. Well, I hope you found that informative. Let me know if you have any questions. But just remember, the home, as far as I'm concerned, yes, and you too, is for the humans and for whatever companions they choose to have. So if you have canine companions, let's make it friendly for them just as much as it is for us. You smelling something good there?
Nope, nothing.